The following is a pre-recorded show. Welcome to Winning in Retirement with your host, Brian Akers, certified financial planner professional and founder of Akers Financial Group. Now, helping you win in your retirement, here's Brian Akers.
Welcome to Winning in Retirement. I'm president and founder Brian Akers from Akers Financial Group. Here with me today is Noah Akers. He's a financial advisor and almost a CFP. He's a CFP candidate. Noah Akers, good morning.
Good morning. Yeah, I'm almost there. Have one more test, two more tests to take, the big final one. That's going to take a couple months to study for. But yeah, we're getting there. We're going to let my kid get born first, do some house projects first.
That's true. A few weeks ago, when we were talking about Trump accounts, I brought up at the end of the show them having a grandchild, but this isn't the son that's having the grandchild.
To me, it's just the son, to the grandchild, but yeah, it's another male Akers coming into the line.
Absolutely. So we welcome to the show. Our company's name is Akers Financial. Our radio show is Winning in Retirement because we feel that winning in retirement is all of our goals as we work and put money away for that future self. We set that money aside. Now, the reason I brought up the fact that Noah's been a CFP candidate is the fact that as part of our advisory team, many of us are CFPs, practitioners, and I've been one since 1991. Noah's most recent class was estate planning, and so I told him we were going to do a radio show about estate planning. So what we ended up doing was put together a show called 3 Mistakes in Estate Planning, and these are mistakes that we see many, many times during the week when we see clients and new clients, especially new clients as they walk in. We go through things with them, and there's mistakes on their estate planning.
Oh, you find out a lot of things. You find people who try to do their own wills, who try to write them up themselves.
Sure.
You see people who just go, oh, I got something tapped on a piece of paper and I left it behind the microwave. And you kind of question, like, oh, I don't know about that.
Are you imitating me?
No.
or the fireman? Oh, it's in the freezer.
Yeah, got to throw it in the freezer. I mean, it's not a bad spot to keep things, but I wouldn't keep my legal documents there, my estate planning docs.
And so today we're financial planners talking about estate planning. We're not the lawyers. So what we do is we do bring in lawyers to assist with the overall estate plan and the documents because that's what their job is. And they give us advice and talk with the clients and work through with them, getting everything that the client needs in place. So some of the things that we do is we try to answer our callers, our radio listeners. And one of the calls we got recently was a call, or actually they went to our website and it says, what is the best way to handle my father's estate was the question. And then what we had is basically sort of a response because you're going to meet with them soon, I think.
Yeah, because that is not a one sentence answer that we can give to them. It's a whole conversation. And so you're just talking about how we are not lawyers. We are not the ones drafting up those documents for them. But because we are having conversations, we'll be having conversations over a period of time. We are getting to know the client, to know their wants and their goals. And so we try to always do everything with a purpose. And so as we can help walk the client through what to do with their money, we can think of what happens post that client, what happens with their estate. And so, yeah, I'm excited to get down and ask some questions, try to figure out what they should do with their father's inheritance.
Yeah, so if somebody uses the word father's estate, it could really be 3 different things, right?
Right.
Because you could go 3 different paths, and that's where financial planning is really to uncover where you are currently, the situation, get all the facts together, and then prepare for an attorney so we can limit our time with the attorney, which limits the fee. So there's 3 different things when we talk about a father's estate. One is they might be still alive and they might be not cognitively able to transact their business.
Yeah, maybe it's a question of I want to help him plan his estate.
Right.
I want him to figure out, to have these conversations of who's taking over things, who's signing for things, how are property or assets being transferred going forward after the passing.
Absolutely. So that's one. One is just that they're alive and they don't have documents at all. Mm-hmm. And then the son's like, I need this in place. Because there comes an age a lot of times with parents that they're on their own, they're doing it on their own, and they're almost offended when you try to help them. Then there comes a time when they're there, I do need help. And that's when you got to start out, just like we do as a financial planner, you need to see where they are. Now, we call that the unique financial fingerprint.
We do indeed. We find out where they are at, and we help them come to that conclusion.
Yes,
a lot of times clients come in and they don't know where their money is at. They don't know what their assets are worth.
They never know what the beneficiaries are. They think it's the right people.
Whenever I go in to do a 401k reallocation with a client, first thing I do, check beneficiaries. I have caught it 3 times just this week.
This week?
Just this week.
No way.
Where there was, I knew that was there, but I didn't put anything in there. And I said, well, let's go ahead and set this up. That way, moving forward, we don't have to worry about it. So you're talking about the 3 things.
Yeah, so we got a cognitive need help, alive, and then the kids are getting involved and they need help. And then there's if the father passed away. And so we do get these calls. People call and they want to sit down with us. The father's passed away, and then we also need to figure out where he is, how the assets are all set up, who are the beneficiaries, so that we can begin to figure out what is already written in stone on what's going to happen. And that becomes many of the things we're going to talk about today with 3 mistakes made in estate planning.
In those 3 steps, where do you want to meet the client?
I want to meet them when they're alive and healthy and mentally there. I believe in planning. When you're planning your retirement, you need to make sure all the documents in place right then. So my thing I say is this: we prepare as if we might die tomorrow, and then we invest and we build our retirement income plan to last a lifetime. Mm-hmm. Once we have the hard work done of the estate planning, because not everybody loves to do that, we get that done, get that out of the way. We need to review it every 5-10 years as things change. But generally, get it done, get it out of the way so you just go enjoy your retirement. Because when you head out on long trips, or you might go to African safari like one of my clients this week, and you're a little fearful of what might happen.
Yep.
And then they're like, is everything ready? Like, yes, it is. But I did also have a client last month that they were pushing an attorney to get the documents done before they did the big trip.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden you're trying to push an attorney quickly, and you can't even get their first appointment sometimes.
Yeah. My cousin, your nephew, he went on an African safari, and he was 5 feet from a lion.
Yep.
And so whenever people have these big trips, I have a client who went out and got their estate planning done because the husband was getting a pretty massive surgery. Yeah. And so it's really good to have that forethought even before those things come up into your life, because you want to get these things established. You want to talk this out with your spouse. Mm-hmm. You want to talk this out with your kids. This is what I want to happen. Some people are very peculiar and have very special requests that they want done. And you can do that within estate planning documents.
And we need to do that. What we're going to try to do here in the first quarter is we want to keep it simple. We believe that everyone needs to have their will in writing. They need to have power of attorneys, healthcare, advance directive, all this put in place. And then you need to work with the financial advisors and the lawyers as part of your team of financial helpers to help you build what is right for you and your situation exactly the way it is. So let's begin with keeping it simple. How do you describe an estate? Like if someone goes, hey, what's an estate? No, you say?
Yeah, I like to explain it as this is the net assets, the net worth that you have, but after you pass. And so you are once yourself, and then when you pass, your things become this estate.
Okay, so you're once yourself?
Yes, you're once yourself.
So I'm myself?
You are Brian Akers, CFP.
If I pass away, my car is my estate.
Yes.
And how about my refrigerator?
Your refrigerator, estate.
Nice. How about, I guess, trailer, my house? That would all be...
all of that. You got to figure out what's going on with them.
Life insurance would be in the estate?
Life insurance is in the estate if you are the owner of that.
Okay. And retirement plans, right?
Retirement plans for sure.
If my name's on a college fund for a grandkid.
For the grandkid?
Yeah.
That is within your estate.
Because I'm the owner.
Because you are the owner. When you are the owner of something, that is within your estate. You did touch on one about life insurance. Life insurance, it's important to know that we're going to get into the annual exclusion that they have with the estate planning. And when it comes down to taxes and death taxes that come at the end, transfer taxes is a big word that they use for that. And with life insurance, the death benefit is considered part of your estate, but it does go to the beneficiary tax-free.
Yeah, so that's a probate process. I put it combine them all together. Yeah, a probate process. Probate is the transfer of title from one person to another, and if you don't have your title jointly or beneficiaries put on it, it'll go through a probate estate, and that's done through the county here in Maryland, where you live, or the city, and it goes through the Register of Wills, and then you have to fill out a lot of paperwork and go through their process of accounting for everything. Who's it going to go to? Show copies of the will, because a will is instructions for probate. It tells you what's going on, who gets what, and when. It designs it all together. A will is for after you pass away. It's your will upon death. It pours things out at that time through the process of probate.
When I have that will written up, how do I tell the government that this is what I have?
Well, there's a couple of ways. One is your lawyer holds it. You can actually turn a copy in with the register of wills where you live, or you keep one in a lockbox and you make sure you tell your next level executor where the written document is with the regular signature, where you keep that document.
What if I only have a copy and it's unsigned?
Unsigned, then you didn't do it.
Wow, yeah.
It's a nice piece of paper.
It's
a nice piece and witnessed. And witnessed.
So the will, when I write up a will and I'm telling people that they're going to receive certain parts of my estate,
right?
You said that goes through probate, right?
Yep.
So they have to go through the probate court. They have to go to the court in order to get things established, to have the administrator of the will, the executor established, right?
Yes.
That way they can be in charge of the person's estate, and they can go forward with moving things around.
Right. So the first day you go there, you pay some fees, basically fees and a few other things to have basically a display out there. And used to be in newspapers about somebody passing away looking for creditors. They do something called a letter of administration, and that makes the executor in charge. They emboss the papers, and that's the legal paperwork to say you're in charge of the new estate. And that gives you the authority, and you have to get a new one of those every 6 months. So these are all processes of things when you run it through probate. We're not trying today to teach you about how to avoid probate. We're going to teach the basics of estate planning is what we're trying to do. So here in the first quarter, what we really try to do is this. How do you talk about your father? Your father's alive, is mentally not doing well, or as he pass away. How can we take care of their estate and their process? Depending on where we are, it will trigger it. Do we have the ability to plan, or is the planning time over? Now, at Akers Financial Group, we're local. We're independent. We don't report to a big company on Wall Street. We report to you. We do have offices in Forest Hill and Lutherville, all around the Mid-Atlantic region, clients all around the country, and even a few around the world. It's so easy to begin winning in retirement. Just give us a call and schedule your free meeting with one of our team of advisors by calling 833-WIN-RETIRE. That's 833-WINRETIRE. We'll give you a call on Monday to schedule your free in-person meeting. Go to AkersFinancial.com or call us at 833-946-7384 to start planning for your retirement now. Have you put off your will? We'll talk about this in a moment.
You're listening to a pre-recorded show. Welcome back to Winning in Retirement. Call 833-WIN-RETIRE now to schedule a visit with Brian and his team and begin winning in retirement. Once again, here's Brian Akers.
Indeed, welcome back to Winning in Retirement. I'm Brian Akers, president and founder of Akers Financial. Here with me today is Noah Akers. He is a financial advisor here at Akers Financial Group. He's been affiliated with Akers Financial for more than 10 years. He currently is working on the final step of the CFP. About a week or so ago, he did the CFP estate planning course. And so today we decided to make a show called 3 Mistakes in Estate Planning. And we're applying this to the show, and because of all of our meetings we have with people, the good things, the bad things, the issues that go on. And so this quarter, we're going to talk about one of the biggest ones. It's actually number one on our list of 3 mistakes in estate planning, and all tied into this. Have you put off your will? What's your thought? Now, when you meet somebody new, any idea of how many people have a will already and how many don't?
I don't have a percentage stat to give you, but it's probably 50-50. Okay. It's usually based off their age. Right. If they're around 60, 70, they've kind of given it some more thought.
They might have had one 20 years ago.
Yeah, if they're 20s or 30s, they are still immortal.
Yeah,
they will not pass in their brain, and that there is no one to succeed them. And so it's kind of more of a difficult conversation because a lot of people, one of the questions is like, why? Why are they putting off their will?
Yeah.
And a lot of people just say, well, I don't want to pay a lawyer. Aren't lawyers expensive? They are, aren't they? They charge hourly. They could pay for per form, whatever their package is, doing a will. And so what are some other reasons why people might be delaying their will?
They just don't want to talk about it. Like if you talk about death, all of a sudden it happens.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what people think. The the morbidity of it or mortality of it. Morbidity is disability, sorry. Mortality of it is like, if I talk about it, then I'm going to think about it, and it's just not a good track. And let's put that off. And the reality is that I believe strongly in proper planning, no matter what the age, is to have documents in place. So when someone's young and they're just getting out and they become the age of 18, parents aren't in charge anymore. Parents can't even call their college and get health records. You can't even get the grades without like a power of attorney. It's a brutal thing. At 18 years old, the parents lose that parental authority that they had. It just goes away. Even though the college wants you to write a check for the bill, you have no right to the account to see it unless you fake the login or something.
Yeah, sometimes we have to have the conversation of, well, don't think about your death. Think about it as how you are giving other people your money when something bad happens. Yep. And so if you take it from the perspective of, well, this is who I want to give things to. This person has meant a lot. And hopefully and usually for spouses, for a married couple, it is the other spouse. It's the surviving spouse who will get most of the funds. But then what happens after that spouse passes?
Yeah, I don't like to bring up horrible stories, but there are many horrible stories in life when it comes to people and suddenly passing away and the need for estate documents or not. In my life, I had a very close cousin who passed away 1 month before I started my first company.
Wow.
And he was going to be one of my first clients. And I talked to him. We were all in our early 20s. You need wills, you need power of attorneys, you need life insurance, stuff like that. Oh, yeah, I'll be your first client. We had that talk, and he passed away in a car accident. And that suddenly, in my opinion, made, from day one in my financial planning life, a very important fact that no one should hear from me they can wait. They need to hear we don't know our future. We need to know if something happened tomorrow, we have it planned the way we want. Without having an estate plan, then we have to do something called intestate. And so in Maryland, they have the actual idea of a will for you. Mm-hmm, so how does that go, Noah?
Yeah, they have their established almost beneficiaries and their sequence of how it goes out. Mm-hmm. And so if you are married, then it goes to your spouse. Okay. If you are spouse and kids, then it goes spouse and kids. If you have no spouse, then it goes to the kids. If you don't have any spouse or kids, then it goes to your parents. If your parents are passed, then it goes, so no spouse, no kids, no parents, siblings.
Okay.
And any other kind of close relatives after that. And then
that are on the bloodline.
Who are in the bloodline.
Right. And
then who gets it?
If no one gets it, then it goes to Maryland, state of Maryland.
Yeah, the state of Maryland gets to
Board of Education.
Isn't that great? You get to donate to the Board of Education for the learning of others because of a lack of planning.
You get to learn about it. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, one of the situations, if you bring up JFK Jr. JFK Jr. died in an airplane crash. He died with his fiance. They weren't married. And what happened was that his mother and father had passed away. He had no children. And then the way it worked out is he had proper planning, thankfully. But in that case, when someone suddenly passed away, that would have gone to the Board of Education, all the net worth, because there wasn't any planning done.
Mm-hmm. And so some other famous people.
Oh,
like
many
Prince.
times.
Prince,
Aretha Franklin, Elvis Presley.
Yeah.
We know that Elvis Presley's estate makes him so many millions of dollars a year because it's public information, because you have to file it, pay estate taxes every year on the revenue that they made.
Mm-hmm. That is very true. So with the will, dying intestate, so dying without a testamentary will.
Right.
And so there is that going on. So if I do not want my estate to be public knowledge, what do I have to do? Is there a way to do that?
And I think the answer is avoid probate. Avoiding probate is a process of truly having beneficiaries, or you can use something called a trust. A trust, a revocable trust, is something where you control it while you're alive, becomes irrevocable upon your death, but that keeps it in the trust, keeps it private. Highly recommend it for anybody who owns a company to own your shares in a version like that, so that you can have the shares and the process be non-public information. Public information is public information, public record. So there is a whole bunch of businesses that derive their business off of when people pass away, they see the public record, then they offer services to those people.
It is good to these revocable trusts. I've had clients who just didn't like the sound of a will and how long it has to go through probate. And they just wanted to avoid that government intervention in the whole step. And so they were having conversations about doing a living trust, about doing a revocable trust in which what I write up, I can change at a later date if I want to, as opposed to an irrevocable trust, which is where you write it up and you can't change the details of it.
Yeah, but the basic of irrevocable trust is that you no longer have strings attached. You're no longer the owner. It's outside your estate. Someone else is in charge of it. Now, there are some variances on that depending on what you're trying to accomplish. But for simplicity, irrevocable normally means no strings attached. It's now irrevocably done. This is done in a bunch of cases, some situations that we use that. Normally, the revocable trust is only as good as how you use it. So if you bought a trust, they can be all kinds of different prices, $3,000 to $15,000 to $20,000, depending on how you get things done. But the revocable living trust is usually under your Social Security number, but it's not in the trust unless it actually is retitled to the trust. Now, people can put in their will that, hey, if I forgot, I meant to put it in the trust. But generally, you want to retitle things to your trust, like your house and personal bank accounts. Definitely not your retirement accounts, but a trust in proper use has its role, it's a tool that can be used in many situations, but not every situation.
And that's why it's so important to meet like a financial planning group, kind of like ours at Akers Financial. We sit down, we talk to them. We try to work out what their wants and what their needs, and we can begin this estate planning conversation. Tell them which accounts have what beneficiaries on them, help them see the transfer of assets. And then if we start to have conversations where maybe a client is, they want to have more of a grip beyond the grave, and they want to set up special features for their kids. So like we were talking earlier about what if I want to give funds to my kids, but when they hit certain ages, so at 25 and 30, I want so much money to be distributed to them. You could do little special tweaks within your trust, but really what we want people to do and make sure that they are thinking about is just getting their will done.
Right.
Starting this process, starting to think about what do I want the assets to do after I pass.
So the number one mistake, we're doing 3 mistakes in estate planning today. Number one mistake is just that people put it off. And if you put it off too long, the state has the answer for you and you won't like it.
Yeah,
very true. Now, when we're talking about estate planning, and estate planning is a process of changing title. Now, there are some things you got to watch out for, and that is if you have done well saving money and you're a resident of Maryland and living in Maryland when you pass away, there can be some estate or inheritance taxes. So how does that work, Noah?
Yeah, so the inheritance tax or the estate tax, it kind of works out like for this year, if you were to pass, you would have this federal exemption, which is actually on the tax return. It's detailed as a unified credit. And that exemption credit, the credit is the tax and tax number credit form versus the total amount of assets, which is what the federal exclusion is. And so that is for a single person, that is 15 million. And so if you have more than 15 million in your estate, you will be subject to estate taxes.
And that's a federal estate tax.
That's the federal. And then there's also for the state.
And that state tax is around 40% to start. And that's different than income tax. It's different than inheritance tax, and it's different than your state and local tax.
Yeah. Most people, so if you have more than 15, so let's say you have 16, once you get over that $1 million over, all taxed at 40%.
Yeah, so of that million, 40% goes to the federal for that. Unless you're married, then it gets more complex. But this is where a single person passes away.
So a single person passes away.
How about Maryland? Let's go over there. They have 2 different layers of taxes, estate tax and inheritance tax. Go over estate tax first.
So the estate tax for Maryland is $5 million.
$5 million. Once your estate is over $5 million, then they then begin to tax you.
Exactly.
And that's 16%, I believe, on the charts.
And so we have to look at that, is that, I've only got 10 million, like I'm fine. Yeah. And then you think, oh, wait, I'm not only in the country of the United States, but I'm also in the state of Maryland.
And this brings about financial planning that involves you and your family. Now, when we're talking about estate planning and this $5 million, this brings up a case where I had a situation with a family where the investments have done so well in their real estate, they got over that limit. We had to start something called estate freezing and start gifting and using and spending money, filling up college funds, all of that. And we love doing that with our people because we plan for things like this and we make sure we try to eliminate tax or get rid of as much as we can during our lifetime. So not at Akers Financial do we sell you things. We work with you and help you with planning. We take your unique financial fingerprint and apply it to your life. All you got to do is give us a call at 833-WIN-RETIRE. That's 833-WIN-RETIRE. And give us a call and we set up that free meeting with one of our team of advisors. Will your beneficiaries actually get the inheritance that you intend to give them? We'll talk about this when we return.
You're listening to a pre-recorded show. Welcome back to Winning in Retirement. Call 833-WIN-RETIRE now to schedule a visit with Brian and his team and begin winning in retirement. Once again, here's Brian Akers.
Welcome back to Winning in Retirement. This show is called Winning in Retirement because we want you to win in your retirement years. I'm Brian Akers. Here with me today is Noah Akers. We are financial advisors from Akers Financial, and we want you to understand our radio show is built around you, around our clients, around you, the listener. We try to educate because we love the concept where all of us are getting better with our own finances, and that's how we all can reach the goals and dreams and win in our retirement years. Now, what happens in life is that we do have to face things that are tough, and that's estate planning leads to handling the worst times during our lives. During our life, during our family's life. And so what we wanted to do on our show today is create a show called 3 Mistakes in Estate Planning. We've covered number 1. Do you remember number 1, Noah?
Number 1, we spoke about what's putting off your will.
All right. Very good. Now, this quarter, we're going to cover number 2.
Number 2.
Yeah,
we're
but
going to be talking about...
Let's don't give it to them. Let's tease it.
Tease it?
Slowly.
Oh.
Number 2 is coming.
It's soon to be arrived.
But we have to finish up last quarter. We were talking about Maryland inheritance tax and estate tax.
Yeah, and so we spoke about the estate tax and how that's got that exemption like the federal does, but it's a third.
So it's not working with federal anymore since the federal went up to 15. It stopped at $5 million.
Yeah.
That means you might be no tax federal, but in Maryland, when you fill out your estate documents and you're over $5 million, they're going to charge 16% tax. Before it gets sent out to your heirs.
Yeah, I believe before the some laws were passed in the 2020 that the federal exemption was like $675,000, and now it's at $15 million.
You're going back 20 years for that
20
number.
years, yeah.
The number was like $5 million before 2020. They kept moving up.
Yeah.
The exact years I'd have to look back at my history book. But right now, estate taxes on the federal level are $15 million per person, and then they have $15 million as your unified gift while you're alive. They have annual gift limits of $19,000. So using all those planning tools can help you design estate freezing techniques and other things that we don't have time to talk about today, but we think are very, very valuable. Now, the thing in Maryland, besides the estate tax, there's an inheritance tax for someone that's not in your direct line. So in my case would be my nephew, my nieces, they would be a 10% inheritance tax because they're not my kids, they're not my siblings.
Yeah, they don't want us to go outside of our line, to go that diagonal. They're going to hit you with a little bit of a tax.
So I can give it to a sister who then gives it to a nephew.
Right.
But the sister has the right to keep it.
Yeah.
And then, so if I want to go direct to a nephew, then 10% is the Maryland inheritance tax on that.
Yeah, and what you just spoke about is very important in our conversations when talking about estate planning, is who is going to have control of the funds. Because we can always try to be avoiding the taxes all the live long day, but then you're going to be sacrificing control.
Did you drop a lyric in there?
I may have.
All the live long day?
All the live long day?
Yeah, it's a song.
It is a song.
All right, so what actually Noah's talking about is our third quarter topic is, will your beneficiaries actually get the inheritance that you intend to give them? We have found that the number 2 mistake in estate planning is that maybe they didn't do the beneficiary, or maybe the beneficiary is what they filled out years ago, or the beneficiary was the right one, but now it's not the right one. Beneficiary spelled wrong. Beneficiary got married. The beneficiary is blank. Maybe the insurance agent at your P&C company just wrote estate on it. Didn't really care to ask you who your family was.
Maybe you got some legal documents done,
Yep.
and then you told your financial advisor to update your accounts, and they only updated one of them and not all of them.
Are you bringing up a case that we had to try to fix?
I've got a story for you.
All right, so Noah, take us back to when we got the call.
Ooh.
This is from an attorney.
The year was 2025.
Sorry.
Year of our Lord.
Now let's keep it normal. You can do that off camera off mic.
Yeah, so like we're talking about in the first quarter, in that we would rather talk to someone while they're living and can have conversations about this. But we got this one after the fact, after the original client had passed the mom, and then we got to talk with the daughters of the kids.
Yeah, right.
And so for namesake, we'll be using Wilma as the name of...
And Pebbles would be all three kids. Well, Pebbles is all three daughters.
Pebbles. Yes.
Wilma had one child in the normal life of Fred and Wilma Flintstone, which I believed was true. But in our case, Wilma passed away.
Yeah, Wilma passed away.
And then Pebbles got the money. And then one of the Pebbles we met with after the attorney referred us in to try to fix things.
Yes.
So go ahead and tell the story.
Yeah. And so one of the Pebbles, one of the three number one Pebble, she is special needs.
That's number 3 Pebble.
That's number 3 Pebble? Okay. Yeah. Number 3 Pebble is special needs.
Special needs is what?
Special needs is when she has to live off of government assistance.
And it's government housing. Government budget.
Yeah.
She cannot have assets above $2,400.
Social Security, disability income.
Oh, that, right.
And so we have to protect the assets, the inheritance that she's getting from going to her. Mm-hmm. Because when it goes to her, she loses her benefits.
Yep.
And you would not believe the amount of paperwork that you have to do to remain inside of this government assistance.
Yep.
And that's why it's so important to have a power of attorney for the special needs Pebbles.
But that's why Mom went to an attorney and had a special needs trust designed for Pebbles number 3.
She did. Good job. Gold star.
But went to the financial investment person.
Yep, and he did one of the 3 accounts.
And the one account, what did he do the right way? What did he do?
He put her trust in as a beneficiary. And so what that trust worked as like a flow-through trust. And so the funds would flow into that trust, and then they'd flow into the special needs trust.
All right, so that's listing it. And what kind of account was that?
That was a TOD, a transfer on death, individual taxable account.
So at Mom's name, TOD, transfer on death, is for brokerage accounts, investment accounts, not for bank accounts. They're called payable on death, but transfer on death, and it listed the trust.
Right.
And so what happens is Mom passes away. We say Mom passes away. It goes to the trust. We give them the document. The trust takes over. And then the trust splits it. Pebble 1 and 2 get their money. Pebble 3 goes into a special needs trust. No problem with the benefits.
Yeah, I think I was giving kudos to the advisor a little bit early because he still did it kind of wrong. So the trust that it was supposed to pour into was going to be 50% to the special needs, 25 to one Pebbles, and 25 to Pebbles number 2. So then, as the actual beneficiaries, they should have just made 100% the trust. Yeah. Instead, they did 50% the trust.
Oh, no.
And then 25 Pebbles 1, 25 Pebbles 2. So then really? After you go through all of it, we had to, it was fun. We had to work with Pebbles 1 to talk to this old financial advisor, which actually we had the account go to the house, to the broker dealer, because we didn't want to deal with the advisor anymore because they got a little nasty.
Yeah.
And so we spoke with the broker dealer, and they helped us transfer the accounts into the Wilma's account into the trust account.
Yep.
Got to go into Pebbles 1 account and Pebbles 2 account. Mm-hmm. Then we had to bring it over so then we could manage the money and we could help distribute it. Yeah. So then we brought the funds over and then we had to take the trust and then split that out 3 ways as well. A lot of paperwork, a lot of waiting, just conversations with the broker dealer. Sometimes the customer service didn't understand what we're talking about. They didn't understand which client we're talking about.
Yep.
Little hairy.
Well, little Harry was not involved at that time. So I was the first advisor talking with her, and then I had to bring in a whole team of people from Akers Financial to work with it.
Yeah.
Their operations, super lady, and then Noah took over and just basically did all these phone calls, all the patients, all the thing it took with the multiple accounts. So we talked about the first one. Now, the rest of the accounts from Mom were not set up right in any way.
No, we had an IRA and we had a non-qualified annuity.
Yeah.
So some extra fun. I feel like this should be a case in one of the textbooks for financial planning. Anyways, so the IRA had Pebbles 3 specifically named out. Boo-boo number 1.
Named out, meaning she wasn't there.
It was her name. I'm sorry. Her name was written as a beneficiary. So remember how we were talking earlier about how we don't want funds to go straight into the special needs person's name?
Yep.
That's what happened.
And so over the last 2 years, we tried every option to make that not happen.
Yeah. So one of the things that you can do is you can disclaim an inheritance. And there's a couple of things that have to line up. Number 1, it has to be within 9 months of the deceased passing, which we didn't qualify for.
Right.
So that's why we couldn't do it. Number 2, you would also need all the other beneficiaries to disclaim the assets. And so we were So one of the thoughts was, okay, maybe we can have Pebbles 1 as the POA disclaim the assets for Pebbles number 3, the special needs person.
Sure. Wow.
And then we had to have Pebbles 2 try to disclaim those assets that she would have gotten. And then number 3, we had to have Pebbles 1 disclaim those assets because technically they would flow to her as one of the other beneficiaries.
Yeah.
And then as the executor of the estate, sorry, I can hear the listeners snoozing.
Yeah.
And then they could take, but I think it's fun. Then she had to, as the executor, try to get those funds moved over into special needs trust. But at this time when we were trying to do so, it was past the 9 months. And it would have gone to the estate and then would have been taxable paid out to the special needs. And so it wouldn't have jumped at all.
Yeah. So the main thing to learn from this is that when you do legal documents and they're done, especially with a parent, and you're doing the documents because you might be in what you might seem as their final years, don't wait to get the beneficiaries and everything done right. Get a copy of that beneficiary and give it back to the attorney and say, did my broker set this up right? What we do at Akers Financial Group is we call the attorney. How do you want it set up? And they give us in writing what they want, and we follow through. The thing is this. We dot the J. Did you know you dot J's?
The lowercase.
Lowercase, absolutely. And we cross out the T's, all those things, to make sure the plan is implemented fully to make it work out that your beneficiaries get the inheritance that you intend. This is what we're talking about this quarter. We talk about this all the time, but inheritance is so important to make sure while you're alive and everything's going well, plan for it with proper documentation every way you can.
Yeah, and if you don't, then you're going to be talking to Noah Akers at Akers Financial.
No, you still do other things.
You're going to let him run through this maze of a thought process.
Well, and it's work that we have to do. We want to help people get to where it needs to be. Ultimate end of the story is that she will be not qualified to stay where she lives because of this mistake. And so it'll be a matter of time where she has to pay her own place. We're going to figure out if she needs to move or not. Now, we would love to think that retirement is just all about getting your time back, where you decide how to use it. Before retirement, your time is all made up with commitments to other things. Now, in situations where planning's not done right and you have to take care of your parents, life gets a little hard at that time. But retirement is a sweet time of life for you when you have those special moments where you get to pick where you have your cup of coffee. What we try to do at Akers Financial Group is we want you to win in your retirement years. So go ahead and go to our website at akersfinancial.com. Check us out right there. Go ahead and submit, and we'll give you a call on Monday to set up your free initial time with one of our team of advisors. Who has the power to be in charge when you cannot? We'll go over this when we return with the fourth quarter of Winning in Retirement.
You're listening to a pre-recorded show. Welcome back to Winning in Retirement. Call 833-WIN-RETIRE now to schedule a visit with Brian and his team and begin winning in retirement. Once again, here's Brian Akers.
Welcome back to Winning in Retirement. Indeed, welcome back to the fourth quarter. I'm Brian Akers, president and founder of Akers Financial Group, and here with me today is Noah Akers. He is actually a managing partner of the Daniel Allen Tax Service and the head of the Brian Akers team of financial advisors when we build my client team.
Yeah, and also my own clients as well.
Of course. Yeah, that works all the time.
Also a loving husband, disc golfer.
Dog owner. And future, an ex-father of my grandchild, ultimately. All right, so moving right along to the fourth quarter. Fourth quarter is a fun time in games. That's when you find out about winning and all that. Now imagine that in the fourth quarter of life, and you're thinking about estate planning, you're thinking about all these things that you want to make sure happens. And so today we put together a show called 3 Mistakes in Estate Planning. the hardest thing about this show is that it could be 5 parts, could be 5 hours, 10 hours, lots of information out there. We try to keep it simple. We covered 3 mistakes. We covered 2 so far. We got 1 more to go. First one was why do people put off their will?
Yeah.
Second one was about
talking about who's actually getting the inheritance.
The beneficiary. So let's talk a little bit about that more before we move to the number 3.
Yeah.
So I know with IRAs, when we had the Secure Act of 2020, it changed the rules on IRAs for beneficiaries. And what did it do, Noah?
Yeah, it made it so then the distributions could no longer be stretched out.
Over a lifetime.
And now you have a 10-year clock that begins the moment that they pass. Then that's when they have to start taking out funds out of that IRA.
Yeah, so Congress did that back in 2018, January 2018. It actually did the work in 2017, the Tax Reform Act at that time. That was the first change of the IRA rules. It changed the RMD, but it mainly did this 10-year rule. So that means if you're a child and you get a beneficiary from your father, what would happen is you have the IRA to take out over 10 years and you have a minimum withdrawal every year.
Yes, you do.
Now, they had a couple of years. They couldn't decide if that really meant that or not. And then now in 2025, you have to start taking it out or you get penalized.
Yep.
So that's a minimum withdrawal. Typically, we like to do higher than minimum on a 10-year payout like that.
Yeah, we want to spread out those taxes because remember, an IRA is a tax-deferred account.
Yeah, tax-deferred, but taxable sometime.
Yeah, it's taxable when you pull it out at ordinary income taxes. And so we want to spread out that tax. We don't want to have 1 year where we're doing all of it as much as we can because sometimes you have needs, but I would rather get 80 cents on a dollar than 70 cents on a dollar.
Absolutely. And you also want to make sure we plan that beneficiaries' taxes and their financial planning so we get involved with our clients' kids and really work out how to receive the money that's best for them.
Yeah.
Now,
what about Roth accounts?
Well, the dream is that our clients do Roth and we can present to the kids, here's an account that's all yours, 100% yours, and it can stay there 10 years.
Yeah.
No withdrawals that you have to make. And so one little trick that I do is this. Hey, this is a Roth for 10 years, and then it all comes to you and it's taxable. During this 10-year period, let's make this Roth permanent for your lifetime by funding your own Roth with it. So we do a withdrawal, fund your Roth, throwing that money through your entire life tax-free.
Keeping it tax-free for years to come.
I love that little move with a Roth beneficiary account. We do that multiple times for our people. So that's number 2 is about beneficiaries. Now we got to get on to number 3. You ready to move to number 3?
I'm ready.
Not understanding the need for a power of attorney. So why is that such a big a mistake when people don't understand that?
Well, because when something happens and you never know when it's going to happen.
It happens suddenly, typically, for power of attorney.
And so you need someone to help or to make the decisions for you.
This is why you're alive.
Yes.
And it's not when you pass away. Your will controls who's in charge when you pass away. It does not control while you're alive.
But no, while you're alive. And so a lot of times it could be something as simple as you being out of the country and something really needs to be paid or funds need to be moved. And so we could have a power of attorney, like a durable power of attorney, someone who has the right to do withdrawals, to do transactions, to make stock trades for you on your behalf.
And that has to be registered with each account.
Yeah.
To make sure it actually works.
Yeah, so you get that financial power of attorney is what we are talking about right now. And then for our clients, they send us a copy, and then we help put it onto all their accounts. That way, if they call in or they call to the company to try to do any sort of transactions, they have the authority to do so.
Because if we do not have a power of attorney, the only person we can use is the person that owns the account. So if there's a trade, we confirm that trade. If they need money, we confirm it with them.
Yeah, when we're talking about retirement accounts, IRAs are in an individual. They're not a joint account.
Right, so
the spouse we can't take instructions. We have to have the power of
if you write trusted contact on an account, that just means I can call you, I can call your friend, your spouse, and tell them, hey, something's up with them. I don't think they're thinking right. And then you have to then figure out how to help me. But that doesn't give the authority to transact the business. So a power of attorney, a financial power of attorney is what we're talking about here. There's also medical power of attorneys where people that can then make medical decisions when you can't. So power of attorneys are all designed for you while you're alive. No matter what age we need this. If you're 20 years old, you need this to be had in case you have a car accident. There are reasons people get incapacitated, disabled, they pass away, they have all kinds of issues in life, and we need to have the legal documents in place so people can help you to make your money work out when you need it most. You have to have these documents to allow it to actually work.
And also like health care power of attorneys, someone who make the decision in the room at the hospital for you.
Sure.
And so we get copies of those. We also like the hospitals to have copies of those. We have had a couple phone calls come in and where the kids are calling in, they say, Mom and Dad are not doing well. I do not have a copy of the healthcare power of attorney. Can you send me a copy? And we can, because we've already spoken to the client about this. We have planned for this scenario and we are ready to tackle it.
The idea of estate planning is to truly work through what you would like to happen. We do something called estate flow. Can you explain our estate flow process for people? Let's use Spider.
Spider? Okay. So when we're talking about the estate flow, we like to help show a client exactly who is getting how much money.
Yep.
And so we like to, we use the dollar amount that's within an account, and then we use the percentage of the beneficiary, and then we do all the math together, and then we try to present it in a presentable form in which you can easily understand this person is getting this much, this person is getting that much. That way you can kind of visualize what that end-of-life gift is going to look like.
And then we ask the question, is this what you want? And then they go, no.
Not at all.
Can we change that? And the answer is absolutely. We can change the beneficiary percentages or who gets what when, or maybe there's little Jimmy doesn't need that money till they're 35, need to have a special trust for that. It's a process of thinking about what you have set up. So when we start with your unique financial fingerprint, we do want copies of your wills, power of attorneys, beneficiaries, account statements, all this information, so we can come back and say to you, this is your plan right now. Is this what you want? And then you might say, no, that's not what I want, not what I intended. We find many accounts with no contingent beneficiaries. We find many accounts with things that are just wrong, and it's just not what the people want. So bringing it all together is what we start with at Akers Financial Group. Then we build from there to grow and flow this money. Your future is your choice. You get to pick what you want this future to look like, but you got to do the work now to make sure it happens.
Yeah. Sometimes the conversation, you're talking about contingent beneficiaries. If a couple doesn't have any kids, they're like, I don't know who to give these funds to. And so we have that conversation of, well, is there someone else in your life that has been meaningfully there at the times that you needed it the most?
Like, or a legacy or charity, and what accounts are right to give to charity. We do this all the time where retirement accounts, we give them to charity because there's no tax given to charity.
Sometimes they'll say, I want this kid to get this account and that kid to get that account.
Yeah.
But then you're spending down this kid's account, not that kid's account.
Yeah.
And so then they're going to have unequal inheritance. And so when we do our estate flow and we show them where the money goes, they're like, I got to even this out because they're both great kids. They help out. They come to Christmas every time. I see them weekly.
The gifts were equal and fair.
Yeah, the gifts were equal and fair.
All right. So the hardest part in estate planning is that we have to start. So the 3 mistakes we talked about today, the first one is, why do people put off a will? And our recommendation is not to put it off anymore. So we have to do some simple things such as this. We do estate planning as if we might die tomorrow, and we invest and do retirement income planning as if we might live forever, because we want that make that money last as long as you do. And so this combination of planning is very, very important, but it all begins with having the will package put together with the lawyer. Now, financial planners, we like to be first, get it all organized, build out what you might want. We talk about options, then we go to an attorney with more of a design ready to go.
Got that right. And it's good to get that started, to get those conversations beginning. If it's just you, then you can have those thoughts. If it's with your spouse, who knows what they're thinking? You guys need to have that conversation. Have a dinner time conversation about it. I like to call it the Uncle Ed talk.
Uncle Ed?
The Uncle Ed talk.
Go ahead.
So sit down, talk with Uncle Ed, talk with your parents above you, whoever you're getting the funds from, where their assets are at. Also have the spouse talk to your spouse. Who do you want to send
You want the parents to tell you?
I want the parents to give them an idea of what things will look like.
Oh, you want the parents to tell the kids like how much money? Some parents don't want to do that.
So with one client, they have an Uncle Ed.
Yeah.
And Uncle Ed invited them over to their cabin. He's single.
Yeah.
And he said, all right, I'm going to show you where a gun is in each room. And you get all the guns.
And this is a family meeting, we call these. Family meetings. And we're talking about it. And there's a time in life when people do this.
Yes. And so it's good to have some things written out and to know where things are at, bank accounts, income sources, all of that.
All right. So basically, number one, don't put it off any longer. A will and then a family meeting is one of the process we like. Number two is make sure your beneficiaries are truly set up correctly, going to the people that you want, and that their names are correct. And then the third option, the third number of our mistakes that we see is not understanding the need of a power of attorney or thinking that a power of attorney actually works after someone passes away, which they don't. The will takes over. The executor becomes the person in charge. All right, we've been flying through these topics. Very good job. Noah?
Yeah, they're going to have to replay back this on our website or on Spotify.
On a slow version?
Yeah.
Because we did talk fast.
Yeah.
But not that fast.
You can just come in and meet with us.
All right, so today was 3 mistakes in estate planning. Good job, Noah. Thanks very much. We do look forward to meeting with you because we want you to win in your retirement by taking advantage of the opportunity to begin planning with us at Akers Financial. To schedule your free meeting with one of our team of advisors, go to our website at akersfinancial.com. Scroll to the schedule a meeting section and let us know you'd like to schedule your free meeting right there. That's akersfinancial.com, or you can call us at 833-WIN-RETIRE. That's 833-WIN-RETIRE. We'll give you a call on Monday to schedule your free in-person meeting with one of our team of advisors. Start planning for your retirement now. Go to akersfinancial.com or call us at 833-946-7384. Thank you for listening. I'm Brian Akers from Akers Financial, and we want you to be winning in retirement.
You've been listening to Winning in Retirement with your host, Brian Akers of Akers Financial Group. Akers Financial Group offers securities through Archedios Capital, an SIPC and FINRA member firm. Advisory services are provided through Archedios Wealth. Akers Financial Group and Archedios do not share any common ownership. Neither Archedios nor Akers Financial Group provides tax or legal advice. Advice given on winning in retirement is general in nature, and one should seek further advice from their financial advisor, broker, attorney, and/or tax accountant before investing. Be sure to read each prospectus carefully to understand all the risks associated with each investment. Examples and scenarios shared are meant to be for illustrative purposes only. Past performance is not indicative of future results.